Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book, doing my Friday reads. I've been in Colchester, my hometown, last weekend for about 4 days to see the Smashing Pumpkins playing, which was just an amazing experience because the Smashing Pumpkins were my favourite band when I was a teenager, and the idea of them playing my hometown is completely unbelievable to me still, even now. And they were supported by Skunk and Nancy as well, who are also very good. But whilst I was there, I did visit a new bookshop there, and by new I mean it's been there for 10 years, but I've never been because I haven't lived in Colchester for 10 years. But it was like this amazing second-hand bookshop is there now. I'll put a picture of it here. It looks really small from the outside, but inside it had quite a few rooms and loads of history. It was especially good on history, and it had sort of sections for every single county in England, and it was called GFB. I don't know what it stands for, but I had very limited bag space, so I did limit myself to 3 books. But I got this lovely hard cover of a Miss Reed book, Celebrations at Thrush Green. This is number 11 in the series, and I've only read the first 3, but I couldn't kind of resist it. Although it doesn't match my other ones. I got the Penguins, but I don't really mind that. I like this one. Yeah, so looking forward to that. I also got Foundation and Empire. This does match my copy of Foundation, and this is the second in the book series Foundation, Isaac Asimov, which I've read Foundation twice now, and I didn't really like it both times. But I'm loving the TV series so much that I think it must develop some of the storylines from the TV series into it at least a little bit. So I was willing to give it another chance, especially since I think this was £1. Yeah, £1. I thought it's worth picking up for £1, and they're quite quick reads. The third book I got was a history, and one of my favourite historians, Robert K. Massey, and his biography of Peter the Great. I believe this won the Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, Pulitzer Prize winning biography. I have read his biography of Catherine the Great and his biography of Nicholas and Alexandra, and I love them both, especially Nicholas and Alexandra. I'm quite interested in Peter the Great as well because he seems like a very interesting figure, and he visited Greenwich, where I live now, so I do want to. I think it was a bit of a drunken jolly as well, so it would be quite interesting to read about that. And it's a big chunky one with pictures in the middle, which is always a bonus. But yeah, I thought I'd pick that up. I think I might have this on Kindles as well, but I picked up anyway. I also did go to a charity shop with my mum, and I made her buy the first Thrush Green book and The Book Thief, and I also picked up this as well, which was £1 as well. So The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. I've never read any Paul Murray, and it was nominated for the Booker Prize. Yeah, shortlisted for the Booker Prize, which is normally a bad sign for me, but I think this one generally has quite good reviews by everyone. So I think he's an Irish author, but it sounded like an interesting story because it sounds like a family story. But yeah, I just picked it up because it was £1, and I thought I may as well. So those are the 4 books I purchased. I've also ordered another book for my 2025 reads project, so that is on the way. I've ordered a shorty for Shorty September. So speaking of which, I should have left this one for that because it's 100 pages long, and I've finished this for my 2025 read of August, and again it was really good. I've done well with my 25 2025 reads so far. This is my second one, and the second one I've really enjoyed. And maybe it's because I'm sticking to science fiction. But this is a science fiction mystery. Becky Chambers meets Miss Marple, it says on the back. Basically, this is a book about a woman, sort of an older woman who wakes up, and she's on a generational ship, which is already a bonus for me because I love generation ship stories. And she's decanted into the wrong body. I love the ideas in this book. So they have a big library which has digital books that store people's brains on them, so they can kind of go into storage and be decanted back into a fresh body. But she's decanted into the wrong body, and she's one of the ship's detectives, and it soon becomes clear that she is in potentially the murderer's body because she's near the scene of a crime, and most people are in storage at this time. So that's an interesting concept. And I also think that the idea of murder being a temporary sort of situation, because you can normally just they save their brains in the library every now and then, so the idea that someone could be murdered and then brought back to life is quite an interesting concept as well. So I think it's quite funny, and it is quite cozy in a way. And I think some of the problems people have with this, I think, from Goodreads reviews and things, is that it's too short to be a satisfying mystery, and it's too short to really get to know the protagonist. But I kind of felt it was a bit like Murderbot in that it had that same kind of vibe for me, and those are really short and quite satisfying. And I found this quite satisfying, even though the mystery itself is not anything to write home about. But I think in general, mysteries I think are never as good as Agatha Christie, so it's always I'm never that upset when the mystery is a bit straightforward. So very promising start to what is going to be a series. So I do hope they are longer going forward. But yeah, I think this is a really enjoyable read. I would recommend it if you're looking for a sort of mystery or sci-fi shorty for Shorty September. The other book I've read since I last did a Friday Reads is The Spy and the Traitor, the greatest espionage. Why can I not say that word? Espionage story of the Cold War by Ben Macintyre. And this is one I've seen on BookTube a bit. I think Mark from Booktime with Elvis really rates this, and I think Farah from Bookstalgic also really liked this as well. And I really liked it. So this is a really cool non-fiction book about a Russian defector during the Cold War, and it follows his kind of life as a double agent, first in Denmark and then in London, and you get a really interesting look into the KGB and MI5 as well, and the differences between the way they operate and stuff are really interesting, and the way they gather intelligence and kind of make allies and things was really interesting. It feels very John le Carré, so that further reinforces my thoughts that John le Carré is really accurate in his portrayal. And it ends, the third section of the book is his kind of escape. I don't think that's a spoiler because it's talked about all the way through, but he's a sort of escape when he's kind of been discovered, and that was really good. It was not as thrilling as I thought it would be from other people's reviews when I was looking at it. But it was really interesting the way they got him out. And I think Ben Macintyre is just a writer that obviously specialises in making a thrilling non-fiction. So he is definitely on the narrative fiction, the narrative side of non-fiction, sorry. So if you like non-fictions that read like novels, this is perfect. So I did really enjoy this, and I've got his book Operation Mincemeat, which I haven't read, and I've got another one of his books, I think maybe on, no, I don't know, but I know he's done one on Red Sonja and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd definitely like to give more Ben Macintyre a go. I do suspect he might be a bit of a Tory, because he's very pro. Maggie Thatcher comes off very well in this, but I don't really have any arguments with anything he said in it. So he may be a bit of a Tory, but I'll forgive him. My current reads are a fine balance still. I'm 500 pages into this, nearly finished. I won't talk too much about this because I'll do a proper review of it, but I am enjoying this. I was struggling a little bit at the beginning because he's such a character writer. He likes to give the backstories of every single character in the book. So you spend a lot of the first half of the book learning everyone's life stories. The second half of the book, you go to the current day, and now that I know all the characters and all their backstories, it's paying off, because now it's really interesting, and it's a bit weird and wonderful in a way, but it is. I was worried it was going to be a bit too bleak for me. It is quite bleak because it is about Indira Gandhi's emergency in the 70s, where she declared a national emergency so she could impose ridiculous laws and things on the country. Sounds very familiar to if you're an American. But yeah, there is a lot of bleakness in it, but it also is light and a lot of joy and funny and joking and stuff in it. So it's a very good book so far. I'm very much enjoying it. I am still listening to Glorious Exploits, which I've nearly finished, which I'm also enjoying still. And my nightly reading of Trash Tales has kind of fallen off because I went away to Colchester and didn't take it with me. And also my reading of the Burgundians has been non-existent. So I might save the rest of Trash Tales till next year, and just once I've finished A Fine Balance, try and get some more of the Burgundians read, because I'm going to France next week, so the Burgundians would be a good kind of preparation for that, but we'll see what happens. But that's my Friday reads. Let me know if you've read any of the books I've purchased. The Bee Sting, I'd be interested to see if anyone's read that. I know it was a big book a few years ago, and if you've I know Book Chat with Pat read Murder by Memory, so I think she enjoyed it as well. And if you've got any other Ben Macintyre recommendations, let me know. Have a good one, BookTube. Bye.